CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Good evening. Hudson Mack is off tonight. I'm Andrew Johnson. An update on a story we brought you on Friday. The third sea turtle to wash ashore on a Vancouver Island beach is dead. This is the third green sea turtle in less than 2 weeks to wash up near Tofino and die. The turtle was found last Wednesday and transported to the Vancouver Aquarium, where veterinarians tried to save him. The cause of death has not been released, and it's not known whether an autopsy will be conducted. Marine biologists say the turtles could have got caught in a cold current, causing their bodies to shut down and go into a coma-like state. The flagship of Canada's submarine fleet is being put to the test and is predicted to go into service by spring. HMCS Victoria is undergoing sea trials and crew training after an extended docking work period. The Navy says there were some challenges with the maintenance program, but all the lessons learned will help maintain the other three submarines. Windsor and Chicoutimi are both expected to be in service by 2013, which means 3 subs in the water and 1 in dry dock at any given time. In the new year, Victoria will conduct exercises including test firing of torpedoes. BC Ferries is ramping up service for the busy holiday season. The company says 150 sailings will be added to its schedule between the Lower Mainland and Vancouver Island beginning this Friday. 104 extra sailings will be added between Tsawwassen and Swartz Bay, and 46 additional trips will be scheduled between Horseshoe Bay and Departure Bay. December 26th to the 28th are expected to be the busiest days for ferry travel. BC Ferries is recommending you make reservations if you want a specific sailing. BC Ferries says sailings on Christmas and New Year's days will be reduced on some routes because people usually travel less on those days. For the full holiday schedule and details on all routes and reservations, visit bcferries.com. You may recall the story CTV News brought you at the end of November regarding the Christmas Spirit Community Dinner at Glad Tidings Church. Every year, the dinner gives hundreds of children and adults who have nowhere else to go a taste of the holiday season. As many as 1,000 people have come to rely on the event, single parents looking to give their children a proper Christmas. While the 21st annual dinner was on the verge of being cancelled, that is until some local businesses saw our story and decided to step up. It looks like the dinner is back on. The organizer of the event is expected to make the announcement on Wednesday. If gadgets do matter, today is free shipping day if you shop online. That means if you haven't wrapped up your Christmas shopping yet, you can still get it done without shelling out for those costly shipping and handling fees. This is the first year Canada is participating in free shipping day. Some 80 retailers are cutting online shipping costs and guaranteeing you'll receive your purchase by Christmas Eve. The one-day event is already in its 4th year in the U.S. Sales totaled more than $940 million last year, surpassing even Black Friday. Couriers say they are tackling what is the biggest shipping day of the year. FedEx says it expects to move 17 million packages around the world today. That's almost double what it does on a normal day and the most in the company's nearly 40-year history. An additional 20,000 seasonal employees are helping out with the extra load. December 23rd is the last day to ship by courier before Christmas.
CTV News, Vancouver Island Report.
Good evening. Nanaimo RCMP are investigating a suspicious death after a woman stepped out of her home and found a body in her yard. It happened yesterday afternoon in the 700 block of Fitzwilliam Street, just steps away from the RCMP detachment. Serious crime investigators spent the afternoon and evening combing the property looking for clues about how the man's body got there and how he died.
Well, 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, a homeowner in the 700 block of Fitzwilliam found a deceased male in her backyard. She quickly called 911. We had members on scene within minutes, general duty, forensic investigators, and because of the nature of where the body was found, no obvious signs of death, the file's been turned over to our serious crime investigators.
The man has been identified. He's 37 years old and from the Nanaimo area. Police are withholding his name until his family has been notified. Nanaimo RCMP are trying to figure out why 3 people were targeted in a violent home invasion. It happened in a quiet neighborhood in the middle of the afternoon. Police say just after 2 p.m. yesterday, 3 men with guns pushed their way into a Rosstown Road home. A woman and 2 men were inside. The attackers tied them up with zap straps and demanded money.
One of the males who was in the house, he managed to free himself. He ran to a second-story window and jumped out. He was actually shoeless at the time. He ran to several homes trying to get the attention of people, and obviously the neighbors were quite concerned. They didn't know what was going on, but one of them did call 911 for that male. At this time, we didn't realize there was a home invasion going on. Our members eventually got a call from the two individuals inside who freed themselves and called 911. We got to the house. They were uninjured, but really shaken by the ordeal.
Nothing was taken during the home invasion. The three men are described as being Asian, wearing bandanas over their faces and driving a small older model tan or beige car. If you know who the men might be, you're asked to contact Nanaimo RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A plan to occupy BC Ferries appears to be nearly dead in the water. People who had been part of Occupy movements in Vancouver, Victoria and Nanaimo said they'd have a heavy presence at Swartz Bay, Departure Bay and a number of smaller terminals up and down Vancouver Island. But the effort fell flat. At most terminals, there was no sign of any presence. Late this afternoon, a small group of people marched outside the Nanaimo terminal that serves the Gabriola Island route, but there were no disruptions to passengers or service.
What's the point of all this? To raise awareness for the fact for what BC Ferries is doing right now. I mean, the unions are going into battles against BC Ferries, the corporation, to try and right the wrongs that this corporation is doing. I mean, they make the excuse that they just hired a new CO and cut his wages, but I mean, if you look at the fact that he already makes $500,000 a year, and then on top of that, he's making what, almost $300,000 bonuses. What are those bonuses for?
Occupy Nanaimo had been the holdout of the Occupy movements across the province, but protesters were evicted from Diana Krall Plaza on Friday.